Welcome back, Bandecdotes folks. You're watching another episode of Bandecdotes, podcast that holds it down for the underground sound here in Ontario, Canada. And I'm your host, Phil Paxton. If you're new to the show, what we do is we bring people from the music scene on, whether it's musicians, promoters, photographers, get them to plug their platform, whatever they're doing in the Ontario scene, and then get them to tell some of the wildest stories they have from being around that band culture. And let me tell you what, we got some wild stories for this episode today. It was a great one. But before I get into that, we got shows. Ontario has got shows, and it's bringing it. All right, this Friday, April 22nd, in Guelph, we've got Frank Dukes, All But Six, Pep Talk, and Suplex City. And that's at the Jimmy Jazz. In Toronto, at the Bovine, we got Girth's video release show with Oakrest and Mellow Honey. Saturday, April 23rd, in Toronto, we got a free show at the Bovine with Choices Made, Mall Crimes, The Slime, and The Holdouts. In Guelph, that night, we had Dominion, Saf, Prior Convictions, and Laid to Rest, and that's at the Jimmy Jazz. In Hamilton that night, at the Kill Room, we've got Scarfold, Deadly Game, Bar Down, and Reliever. That's going to be a heavy show. Definitely go check out that show. Sunday, April 24th, in Barrie, we got School Damage, The Readies, The Holdouts, and that's at Infinity Zero, aka Ask a Punk if you don't know where that is. In Hamilton that night, at the Casbah, we got Blissfields, Herd of Elk, and Casey Baker, Neon Cowboy. Friday, April 29th, Faster and Louder Records presents Avem, Speed Humps, Mind Count, and Dave Rocket and the Jobbers, and that's in London at Richmond Tavern. Saturday, April 30th, in Hamilton at the Kill Room, we got Hostage, Scabs Off, Postpartum, New Anthem, Lil Perms, Nails, and Grim, and more. That's going to be a really cool show. Check that out. In Ajax that night, we got Badger Milk with Danger Like, Spook the Beast, and Grave Earth. Sunday, May 1st, in Barrie, Pure Grain Promos presents Pillars of Autumn, Battle Scarred, Halfway Through Hell, I See Aurora, and Cruel Intent at the Queens. In Toronto that night, we have Infant Island, A Flock Named Murder, and our homies in Gouge Outs, and that's at the Orwell. Saturday, May 7th, in Ottawa, Pandemonium presents Kilitaurus with Necrotic Gore Beast, The Aphelion, Soul Thief, and Harvested, and that's at Brass Monkey. Friday, May 13th, in Toronto, Off Leash presents Class of 2022. Now, this show was definitely supposed to happen earlier this year, but because of stuff happening, it got pushed back, and I'm stoked that this is happening. We got Dear God, Do Flame, Mile Ends, and Real World, and that's at the Monarch Tavern. That's in Toronto. Saturday, May 14th, we got B.A. Johnson with Sons of Butchers at the Atria in Oshawa. Tuesday, May 17th, in Kitchener, we have Tunic, Strange Limbs, Thou Shout, and that's at the Short Finger Brewing. Saturday, May 21st, in St. Catharines, we have Belvedere, The Last Gang, and The Holdouts. Adam and the Metal Hawks are doing a bit of shows with Revive the Rose. That's May 27th in Toronto at Sneaky D's, May 28th in Ottawa at Brass Monkey, and May 29th in Barrie at the Queens. Saturday, May 28th, Niagara Metal presents the Swap and Drop 5-year anniversary with Fanatics, Blood Opera, The House of Haunt, and The Electric Dead, and that's at Camp Cataract. And lastly, September 9th and 10th. This is quite a bit of ways, but make sure you go grab your tickets for it. We got a massive hardcore festival happening in Mississauga, put together by your folks from Damage Control and Solace Music Promotions. That's Hold Your Ground Fest 22, featuring bands like Never Ending Game, Mind Force, Pain of Truth, Dare, Momentum, Gridiron, Cohesion, Cold Shoulder, Endgame, Mile End, and many more. Get your tickets at holdyourgroundfest.com. Holy smokes, folks! We got lots of shows going on. So if you heard a show in your area, and maybe a band you want to go check them out. Come on, spare the change. You can do it. Shows are only like $10, $15, $20 at most. You can afford it. Come on, let's do it. Let's get this together. All right, my guest this week for the special 420 episode that I put together. Yeah, it's 420. We have to acknowledge it. And I apologize for the folks who don't celebrate, but we kind of made a fun episode out of this. I have Ben Rispin of Rules. He played in the video Dead. St. Elvira's. He's part of a podcast, Get Into the Weeds. This was such an awesome episode. You know, he's been around the block longer than I have, and he had quite a handful of stories to tell us that were super rad. And we take some edibles throughout the episode. I counted that I ended up taking about 200 milligrams worth. I wish I had some footage to show you otherwise after the show of me doing anything stupid, but nothing happened. I told my wife, be on standby. If I say or do anything stupid, just clip a video of me. Nothing really happened. I ended up getting really tired and falling asleep. But we had a good time anyway. All right, folks, let's get into the episode.
Before, back when I was into a band called St. Elvira Cartel, we were nominated for Junos a couple times, and we were at the Junos in Vancouver, and they had and I had not spiky hair. I didn't have spiky hair, but it was kind of styled, and I wore like the Milo. We call them Milo glasses, like from the Descendants, like the horn ring glasses, right? And then people all the time thought I looked like that Stephen Page dude. All the time.
Always, eh?
I would get it at parties, like who do you think you are? The guy from the Bare Naked Ladies? I'm like, fuck. Right? And then so I was with my date, and they had this rock star hotel thing or something like that, where you could go and you get free swag, get headphones and for nominees and stuff like that. So we were going up to that, and I think it wasn't Anvil. Is Venom Canadian? Venom's Canadian.
Yeah.
Or
yeah.
Triumph. It was Triumph was getting a Lifetime Achievement Award or something at the Junos. And so we're on this elevator, right? Me and my date, and then the one guy, Ed Robinson from the Bare Naked Ladies, not the guy I look like Stephen Page, the other guy, right? And then the guy, the drummer from Triumph, gets on the fucking elevator, and then he's like, "Oh wow, I love your band, man." And I'm like, "Whoa, dude!" I'm like, "I can't." Thanks, dude. Triumph's sick, right? And then he's like, and then he's going on. He's like, "It's so cool to see you guys together. I heard there was some turmoil," and I'm like, "Oh fuck! This dude thinks I'm Stephen Page. He has no idea about my band. I thought that would have been weird, And then so I just went with it. I'm like, "Yeah, it's cool to meet you too," and stuff like that. And we exited the elevator, and I always wonder if the guy from Triumph still says, I met Bare Naked Ladies in an elevator.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have the heart to be like...
It's funny that the other guy from Bare Naked Ladies was like...
He was like he wasn't even acknowledging this shit.
Yeah.
Because he didn't realize, you know what I mean? He thought maybe the guy, he didn't know the fuck I am. Maybe he was in some other band. It was just because at the end, he's like, "It was cool to see you guys." Because he got off on the floor before or something like that. Yeah. And it was us around, and it took a second for me to process it, but whatever. Yeah.
That's great. That
was a funny one.
Right on, folks. Well, thank you for tuning in to another Bandecdotes. I'm your host, Phil Paxton. Our shirt of the week is Cold Shoulder. They're a local hardcore band. And we got my guest, Ben Rispin. Thank you for joining me.
No problem. What camera am I talking about?
This is your camera right here. And we got both of us is right there. And
cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you for coming on. And this is our 420 episode.
Yeah. Happy 420, I guess.
Happy 420,
yeah. We'll pretend it's 420.
I'm going to get into these while we get started.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah. Thank you for coming by. I know it was... we had some trouble, but we got you here.
We made it.
That's
what's
important.
Work, and that's
So,
thanks for being so patient about all that.
Yeah.
Very nice. I feel bad about that.
It's all good. So, you want to tell the viewers and listeners a bit about yourself, what you do?
Well, I guess we're eating a cherry bomb.
Yeah.
How much is it? 350 milligrams. Not a guy. The whole bag.
No, I think 50 a guy.
Oh, fuck.
50 milligram a guy.
I'll do half of this.
Okay.
I still got to drive.
That's fair. I don't.
That's tasty though. Thank you.
Yeah.
I brought some guests. So, for you. Sorry, I'm chewing. We were just talking about the show, it's gross for me to smoke weed on shows. Now I'm just smacking my lips right in your fucking mic.
Yeah. Everybody loves that sound.
This is the highlight of it. Let me get that down. Okay, sorry. Ben, my name's Ben. I play in a band called Rules. I played in a bunch of punk bands in the 905 over the years. Started promoting shows when I was 14 or 15, and that was almost 30 years ago now. Fuck. So I guess aging punker, also cannabis advocate. plant medicine advocate, and then content creator. I have my own podcast, and we make music videos and made movies and festivals and all that kind of stuff.
Just into the fun stuff.
Yeah, I guess when you're like 14 or 15, really young, we started promoting shows in like rural Ontario, like north of like kind of Carlisle or around Carlisle.
Yeah.
Just sort of that sort of kind of was the way since we started smoking weed and doing punk shows, and then that turned into like punk festivals or music videos or like putting out your own records, like that kind of shit, doing your own tours. And then, just kind of, it was always just sort of DIY. Let's get, like, we want to do something, let's figure out how to do it. And that's turned into some pretty big projects over the years, thankfully. Really
super
fun.
cool stuff.
Yeah.
You're a professional fun haver. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I love making something out of nothing. Like, it doesn't matter what it is. You
right.
know what I mean? Like, it can be, like, because I also have a marketing company and things like that. It's not always, you got to make things, you got to make money. So, but I love coming up with a campaign or anything, or building a video, or like building a set. I like when there's nothing and then you've made something and then you go, we made that and it's done. And the idea for whatever it is came into fruition. That's like one of my, I'm addicted to that.
Super cool.
Yeah.
So actually last time me and you I saw you in person was actually, I believe, was Bong Mansion.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to talk a bit about Bong Mansion?
So Bong Mansion, I had a small production company, I guess, called Misfit Island for a bit, and we had some studio space above this St. Hollywood in Hamilton called Halo, and I was partnered with my friend Roman Marconi, who produced the Rules record, and this is where we recorded the Great Segue.
Oh, really?
Where we ended up recording the Rules record.
Cool.
But at the end of that, we had found black mold up in the place, and so my production company had partnered with a company called Puff Digital at the time, which was a content sharing and ad network for cannabis specific content. And so we were doing like, Twitch live streams of people trying bongs and all sorts of different kind of shit up at that studio. And so that stuff's really weekly. Like, you know what I mean? Like, how, when you're putting out your podcast, it has to come out on time.
Yeah.
And, you train your audience, right? And then you fuck up that algorithm, you could lose a lot.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's remarkable how fucking damaging that can be. So
really?
we can swear, I guess, right?
Absolutely.
Sorry, I just habitually.
Yeah, we're all good.
I'm not angry. I just F-bomb slip the fuck out, And so anyway, so I needed somewhere quickly to get post to this, or get. I needed a new studio fast, and so earlier that year I had been flown, or maybe the year prior or something, previously. I had met a man named Terry Line, who was the founder of Tea God, in many ways. Done very well for himself in cannabis, and I'm working on projects with him now. But I met him. I was flown down to Las Vegas to interview Sendog from Cypress Hill.
Super cool.
And Terry Line.
Yeah.
So that's how big Terry Line is. Obviously the Cypress Hill guy, but from the business side of things in the regulated cannabis market, Terry Line is equally as valuable to the conversation.
Right.
If not more so, to be honest with you. Like, I mean, not taking away from fucking Cypress Hill, but,
I know what you're saying.
Terry, with tissue culture and the things that he's working on are taking cannabis to the next game in the next way, next level. Kind of stuff. Sorry. So anyway, we had become friends, and Terry had happened to be from Burlington. And so his family owned the Canadian Tire in town.
Yeah.
And so he knew of all of us because that's where all the bands, like Grade, Video Dead, like all of our old hardcore bands in town, would take our fucking vans to get fixed.
Nice.
So he kind of, because Chris Danner, the drummer of Grade for many of the years, they had a bunch of different lineups, but Danner, he was also in Jersey for a minute and all sorts of outspan, bunch of those old 905 punk bands, hardcore bands. He was the guy fixing all the vans, so we'd always just take it to Danner. So he had sort of a history. And so I posted on Facebook, like looking for a studio. And then I had been to this mansion. Actually, Terry invited me to his 50th birthday. His wife did. And I was like, oh, wow, I got invited by this dude to his 50th birthday. And it was kind of out of the blue. And so I went, and it was like, I'm like, I don't know I'm going to some mansion. So I brought wine. I didn't know what the fuck was up. I get in there. There's like fucking dabs and like a band's playing Cheap Trick. And it's like this broken rat ass fucking mansion. And I was like, this place is sick. So sorry, got sidetracked again. So back to the Facebook. And I'm like, looking for a studio, and Terry chimes into my Facebook. He's like, why don't you take the mansion? And I'm like, I DM'd him. I'm like, are you fucking serious, dude?
Yeah.
And he's like, absolutely. Like, he's like, go. So we went there, set up shop, and empty fucking pool thing. So we set up, like I was doing, we had the Twitch channel thing got going. We were doing Puff Digital and a couple other projects. Like we're doing marketing that's where I don't know if you heard of the brand Greybeard. We were coming up with the real initial kind of visuals for that. And then Terry was working on what he's working on now. He has this LP called Nine Lions and Tissue Culture Lab, the biggest one probably in the world out of the Netherlands for cannabis and all food. Like if you ever had a banana, you've had Terry's banana. Like, it's just like that kind
Super
of thing.
cool.
Shit. Yeah, his biggest clients are Monsanto, McDonald's, and the People's Republic of China.
Jesus.
You know what I mean? Like he very, very well versed in tissue culture.
Yeah.
You know. So anyway, so that's what he was working on. So the first day we're there. We're all like, this is fucking wild. Like I'm in this room with this leopard print carpet. There's a sex room downstairs, empty pool for skateboarding. There's these lounges. This place was like a swingers, like mid-century swingers fucking paradise.
That's so cool.
And it was half all broken and it was on the water. Right next door, living next door is, oh fuck, what are their names are going to escape me. The guys who like, Tim Hortons, the guys who own Tim Hortons.
I can't think of his name, but like, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck. Anyway, probably best that we don't. You know? Anyway, so we set up there, and then I was kind of like, this is crazy. Like, you know, I have a drawing still from when I was in grade 3. We all had to draw, like, our apartments and shit like that.
Yeah.
And I got into skateboarding and shit really young, because it was the 80s, you know, late 80s. Everybody was into it, you know?
Totally.
It wasn't like I was like, fucking cool dude, you know, discovering something, you know?
Yeah.
Just whatever. And so I had this picture that's like, there's a half pipe, and there's like all this rad shit, and I was like, that's essentially what it was given to me. My childhood, you know, party dream house.
Yeah, totally.
And so I was like, I got to open this up to creators. So part of my duties were making content for Puff Digital's like publications at the time. Then I moved on from that job. But anyway, so I said, hey, come use this shit. No booze. We needed to create a safe place. But you can smoke weed. And if you want to shoot content here, you use the place for free. And we get to share the content. We get to publish the content through our sites.
Yeah.
It worked great first. Like it was a party time, and like we had a great events. Like we drove dirt bikes. We had the monster truck played in the house one time. Guys rode dirt bikes through the house, like skateboarding. We had a comedy show. Tons of music videos. Tons.
Chillest dog contest.
Chillest dog. That was one of my favorite fucking things on that. That was a dream come true. Actually, like,
yeah.
I have been planning somehow to do, like, I'm bringing that back in some regards. I have been planning to do, like, I had an idea one time, like, the funnest day at work would get super high and just judge rad dogs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because, like, people are going to bring cool fucking dogs.
Yeah, yeah.
And so we had so much fun making that thing, and it was, the dogs were incredible. And, like, I don't think we ever published that content. Like other than that on the, like maybe on the Instagram.
Yeah.
So I should probably put that together because anytime a dog is wearing a fucking pair of sunglasses, it's fucking awesome.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's always a win.
Yeah, totally. My wife has a tattoo of a dog wearing sunglasses.
Yeah. One day I want to like, hey, open pitch to if there's a CBD company watching this that does pets. I would love to do someday a trailer for like an Air Bud like soft reboot. Like it's like, you know, everybody's coming back 30 years later, 20 years later.
Yeah.
But it's like it's just a slow pan. You're just slow panning in on this graying golden retriever watching a reel of his old like highlights, you know, like the basketball.
Right.
You know, you got some 7-year fetch in there, you know, golden receiver, like, you know, and he can't do it. But then in the distance, y'all ready for this, is playing softly on the piano.
That's great.
You know, and then, like, and then maybe there's like some echoes from like, you know, previous movies, like, you know, won't somebody cover that dog? Those kind of things.
You can do it, bud.
Yeah, and then he does CBD and he gets back. I can't remember I don't know what we call this one. Back in the, what does the dog get back in?
Back in its dog years.
Back in dog
Pup years.
Pup years. I don't know. but fucking Airbud does CBD and gets back in the saddle. But not like the golden saddle, back in the golden, because he's a golden receiver.
Right.
Golden. We'll work on it. We'll whiteboard it. Just put everything on pause. We'll get a whiteboard out and pitch it. Anyway, I don't know. I went off a little
It's
bit.
all good, man. That's what we're here for.
It's the 420 episode.
Yeah. So let's talk a bit about Rules. So how long has Rules been a band for?
I guess kind of like since 2014 we started just fucking around, but it's never really been like the whole point is to like not they take it very seriously in the way that it's like a priority and it ever becomes unfun for all of us.
Right.
You know what I mean? We want to like at saying like so well like I don't want to, you know, I loved being in all of my bands, but sometimes the business outweighs the fun.
Yeah.
And that kind of loses. For me, it was it was wrecking music, I guess. So we wanted to come up with something, and then we just started kind of riffing it out, and we knew we wanted it to be heavy, but the sound just sort of fell out of us. There was never any sort of intention to sound like anything or be like anything. I said I didn't really want to have any that's why I don't know if you're familiar with the record, but there's no breaks in the songs. There's musical breaks. Because I was really tired of being like a front man. Like, you guys ready to see fucking so and so? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's so tropish, and it's like, and all people really need me to say is thank you.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Really,
Thank you so much for coming.
Buy merch. The same stuff.
So I didn't really want that pressure, just because I don't know, it was just where I was at with music at the time. And then so we just started coming up with songs every now and then we played shows, and then we canceled a lot of shows, and just because the other guys are in Penske File and Walk Off the Earth and Creep Show and all that kind of shit. And multiple other bands, but then Chuck's got United Snakes, and so it was just always kind of fucking, let's do what we can, you know what I mean. And then a few years ago now, it was my 40th birthday, and we were at Halo, and we said, hey, let's go in and bang out a record. And, like, we locked ourselves in Halo for 3 days and did a fuck ton of acid, and fucking made that record. And we had like probably the first 6 or 7 songs, I don't know, whatever, say side A, kind of done throughout the course of our career. Our not career, you know what I mean, like the existence. And then the other 7 we banged out the night before, and then stayed up all night jamming and working it out. And then the record that you hear was a single piece of music. We played at 35 minutes throughout the whole thing, ripping on acid.
Wow.
And some other things. You know what I mean? Stimulants. But mainly acid. And then that was the second take, live off the floors, that what ended up on the record.
Wow, that's super cool. It sounds great.
Yeah, thank you.
And you guys put out the music video with Lewis Mallard.
Yeah. That's the third video we put out so far, I think. Fourth.
And I thought Lewis Mallard was a character you folks created.
No, that was actually pretty sorry, I knocked the mic. That was pretty serendipitous how that happened too. I kind of discovered him on Instagram because I thought he was, and I just thought he was awesome. Like I think I'd seen him maybe walking around Hamilton.
Really?
He walks around Hamilton. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. And I'm like, I want to do something with this guy. I want to shoot something with this guy. My friend Victor, who directed that video, and Alex, Aido Media, check them out. They're fucking doing great work. But Victor, I was like, we were kind of just going back and forth on what we wanted to do for this video. And I was like, hey, have you heard of this Lewis Mallard guy? And he's like, whoa, dude, I just met him, and I was essentially going to pitch him for this video.
Really?
And I was like, yeah. So it was just kind of all worked out. And then, we wanted to, like I wrote the script, and we wanted to tell this kind of fucking dark story about this guy, like realizing that he's, a murderer.
Yeah.
And so it was like, and those guys knocked it out of the park. Like we wanted that really Kubrickian vibe, like the long, slow pans. You know what I mean? Like, because you got to like they did such a great job. But like, shout out to Alex Lurkey, who's the DOP. Because the costume never changes. But like, and I don't want to like sound like big up our own shit. But you're going through this with that fucking Mallard. As he realizes,
totally.
You know what I mean? It's the way they played with angles just to get the emotion and the stress and it really ended up working. And it's like it's one of the things that I've made, I think, or been part of making that. I'm most proud of. It's so fucking greck.
It's great.
I get like why people might be like, what the hell? Like it's a total like film nerd fucking like self whack off. Like, let's see how clever we are. I get it, but I also just adore it. And the editing at the end, and then like we were like, oh man, we were trying to figure out ways to light him because we didn't know he had multiple costumes. He's like, oh, I have an evil version. We're like Lewis, I want like he's like, I have an evil version. We're like, fucking great. And then we shot up so we just walked around Hamilton and shot in Gage Park, and then we went up to a Surface Farm in Hamilton. If you ever never seen that place, check that place out. It's an amazing location to shoot stuff. But yeah, it was I was really happy. I'm really proud of that project.
Is he wanted for murder?
Yeah, I don't know. No, he turns himself in. He turns himself in. And I was really happy that he was cool with playing all that, because he is a really beautiful person who like does that for kids. Like he's not, like he's like he wants to bring joy. He's kind of like and I hope this isn't offensive if he ever, but like a not as Like imagine Beavis and Butthead's teacher if he wasn't a dipshit. Like a really just thoughtful fucking dude.
Just a genuine person.
Yeah,
that's great.
Yeah, it's cool. So it was fun to work with him.
So now that things are slowly opening up in 2022, do you got any plans coming out or?
We're working on a lot of events. We're working on a punk festival for downtown Toronto right now.
Really?
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Yeah. We're good. It's I think we're gonna call it Summer School.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I guess this will be the announcement of it. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
July
okay.
22 and 23.
How exciting.
We're gonna launch at the Bovine. It's gonna be multiple stages.
Cool.
Yeah. And then we're gonna see where it goes from there.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So we got that coming up, and then Rules has well, I guess we'll have already played by the time this airs, but we'll be doing some stuff when we can.
Yeah, you guys are doing Friday, right? You're playing Friday.
We have Friday as our album. Like, it's kind of like a small festival, but like there's like 5 bands on that one. But it's all our buddies from like Curse Blessing and stuff like that. We wanted
Trigger Happy, Dragged In.
Yeah. I love that Dragged In band. You should have these guys on that fucking show.
Well,
man.
we'll get them on. You heard it.
Yeah, they're hands down one of my fucking favorite bands right now. Not even just like local bands, just like favorite bands.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
okay, cool.
Yeah,
that's a great segue. I was just gonna ask, like, what are some of the is there any Ontario bands that have caught your attention within the last?
I like a lot of different music, man, but I'd remiss to say that I don't have a song I produced out that's kind of like a bigger or co-produced or A&R'd, I guess, out with a band called Harmonies that's like working on the radio right now.
Really?
Called Push and Shove. Yeah, that's more of a rock thing, but I love Dirty Nil. I love I Dragged In definitely. I just checked out Lil'em the other night. That was fucking sick.
They're a cool band, yeah.
Another band that was like not in that kind of heavy music sort of thing, but more of like I also like a lot of stuff like like Elvis Costello and the Cars and that kind of shit. I checked out this James Clark band in Oakville, kind of an older dude, but he played like that kind of shit. His band was sick. There's always shit that's coming up that I like. I mean, I get stoked pretty easy on music these days. Like, as long as something's honest, I'm pretty into it. Like, I promoted and produced so many shows that genre sort of trickled away in my mind, and it's just like, if this person is really putting their heart into it, I fucking like it.
You back it.
Yeah, because there is a lot of bullshit out there. Like, a lot of people, and they might not be trying to be bullshit. They just don't know who they are as a performer yet, or they're playing a music that they think is cool and it's not really in their heart. You know what I mean? There's a lot of ways to get there. I'm not saying that like you're either bullshitting or not, but sometimes people just, when it's like, really there, you can feel it.
Absolutely. What got you into punk growing up?
I had older siblings in skateboarding. I was probably about 9 or 10, grade 5, and skateboarding was a thing, and you'd go down to like wherever there's a ramp, somebody would build a ramp because it was mostly vert that back then.
Oh yeah.
And then somebody would have a tape like Agent Orange or something like that. And the first real punk I got my hands on was at the Cramps, like Psychedelic Jungle. I think that was the record. And then Dead Milkman, Big Lizard in My Backyard. And I think it was like probably like the Violent Femmes. And then shortly after that, it would have been like, maybe within a couple years, it would have been Fugazi, like Black Flag and Dayglow Abortions and shit like that.
Cool.
And so my older siblings, they just had that kind of shit. My sister had a lot of like I'd sneak in and listen to her vinyl. And she had a lot of like The Cure and things like that. Yeah. And like House Martins and kind of like a lot of that Brit stuff, English beat kind of shit. And then my brother Matt, he was like AC/DC, and his touch point with punk left, and he kind of got back into like he had a mullet for a bit and shit. He's awesome. We're super close, but like he was just kind of more like Motley Crue.
Right.
And then, I just kind of got into punk then, and I think a lot of it was out of spite, because I can remember Skid Row that summer had 18 in a Life was the big song, and I had Cramp Cycle, and everybody had Skid Row tapes, and they're like, your guys aren't even on Much Music, and I didn't know why, but I would have been damned if I was going to be wrong, because I've always been stubborn. So I think I was like, no, this is the best shit, and I think that's sort of how it happened.
Yeah.
But I've always kind of, and like, fuck, dude, like I saw Nirvana play, like getting older, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, Maple Leaf Gardens. Yeah,
really?
We all of that shit just hit right at my formative years. And there was another guy, my friend Laurie Archibald, Sean Archibald, her older brother, because we lived in like Stranger Things looks like a fucking city. Do you know what I mean? We lived in the fucking boonies. So one of our older, or the older siblings of one of our friends, he DJ'd at a college radio, and so he would bring like cool shit back, like Nirvana, Bleach, and then it was all cassette culture, right?
Yeah.
It was everybody like taping it, and then you'd have this hissy version of something that you had to like sit there and listen and shit, but that's so it was just the right, I guess, right or wrong, who knows? I guess I don't know how it could have went different, but it was pretty organic.
For sure. So you actually you kind of remind me of myself in the way that you
incredibly good looking,
talented, good looking,
charming.
You play in a band that you like to have fun with, for sure. Your partner is named Haley, which is the same name as my wife, but also spelt the same, which is actually super important.
That is a huge.
Know that?
Oh, I know that like fucking crazy.
Yeah,
dude.
I was just gonna say,
like my Haley. Like if there's an AI,
yeah, exactly. You're not getting any tags or any like if
no, but she gets mad.
Oh yeah,
she does not like I don't know what happened, but HAILEY is very offensive to me.
Don't do it.
She's like like she'll get pissed because if she's like her name's in a message and then sometimes somebody will still spell it wrong. She's like, my name's spelled right fucking there. But fucking right, spell it right. You know
exactly.
What I mean? She's sick. She deserves to have her name spelled properly.
But yeah, you remind me a bit about myself. Do you have any advice to a younger version of yourself who's like pursuing music or anything?
Put more energy into the creative than the partying.
Yeah. That's good advice.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Focus on more the
fuck going out and get wasted. Like even if you want to get wasted, do it at home while you're making something.
Okay, yeah. Because then at least you're still being productive.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, you're out there just talking shit, wasting time at a bar. I can't tell you how much time I've wasted at a bar.
Yeah, shit, man.
Just shit talking, small talk, getting all fucked up.
Yeah,
it's a waste. I don't regret that. Thankfully,
right.
You know what I mean. Like thankfully, we got it kind of alive.
Yep.
But there's a lot of nights I could have just been out. Like now, when I'm home, like tonight, I was like I'm psyched. I'm going out to the Dayglow show, but I'd really rather be editing this video.
Right.
Not rather be, but I was like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that kind of that's a bit more. I don't know.
No, I know that's totally cool.
No one's gonna do it for you.
Yeah, exactly. So I got one more questions before we get in the Bandecdotes segment.
Sure.
I know you're a huge fan of a lot of pop culture. Like we follow each other on social media. So I know you're a huge fan of Marvel. We could sit here and talk about the new Batman movie.
Yeah.
But really, what I want to know, who do you think's gonna win this season of Drag Race?
Oh fuck.
Who are you rooting for?
The one I liked, he just got knocked out. I can't remember.
Georges?
I like the one who has the drag kids and stuff like that. Wore the leopard print shirt the other day. Southern accent. I'm the worst with names.
Angeria.
I believe so.
Angeria, I believe that's what you're talking about. Yeah. I'm going for Lady Camden. She's the British one.
Yeah.
She's been growing a lot in this season.
Yeah.
No, I just know that you're a huge drag race.
Well, I like. Oh, my phone fell out. Sorry. That's Nicasio. Fuck. Sorry, I got to turn that off. Sorry, G, I'm doing a thing. I was hitting him up.
Yeah, do your thing.
Hey, buddy. I'm on a pod. Look at you, shirtless. I'm on a podcast, and I was trying to hang up on you, and then I just said I'd get you on. It's the 420 episode of the Bandicoot podcast. There, I don't know if you can see him. Say nice. Happy 420, Johnny.
Happy 420. I was just about to hit my 420.
Nice. I'll call you after, okay? Sorry. Love you. Bye. Yeah.
Let's get into some Bandecdotes. So tell
right.
me some of the wildest stories you have from being in a band, whether it's on the road, at a show, in the studio, anything that you got that's entertaining.
What do you want to hear? Like, there's a lot. I don't remember going to Madrid, dude. So I would love to remember. So, I mean, we fucking partied a lot, dude. Like, a lot. Like, everything. The rule back in the early 20s, or like early 20s was no crack, no smack.
Yeah.
And then everything else went. It was just a constant party.
Yeah.
Like, so it's hard to just pick one. But, I mean, like, my first tour was with Video Dead, and nobody across Canada was with Video Dead, and nobody had licenses, and we were going out to meet fucking Dayglow abortions. Like, just
really?
Fucking wild shit.
Wow.
Like, it was, like one time me and Barney, like, and I don't condone this, but we were young and just fucking did not give a fuck about anything.
Yeah.
We were driving through that tour, me and Barney up front, no licenses. There's a fucking cooler of beer right there, going through a ride program in Thunder Bay. all right, keep going.
Really?
Yeah.
Jesus.
We're like it was wild.
Yeah.
Like things that I would never do now.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, like it just didn't stop. So it's I mean, there's like, here's a good one that people like. I Kanye-ing Finger 11 at the Junos.
Tell us about that.
Yeah, so this is a good one. Some people know this, and some people have heard this one. And I don't like this is. I also want to say like Finger 11 is like I think solely responsible for the 905 scene, and I have great respect for these guys.
Okay, yeah.
I love them.
Yeah,
and they are cool guys, and this is just kind of turned into its own thing. That so. Back in the old MySpace days.
Yeah.
Let me gather around. Let me tell you about MySpace. So that's around when Kanye fucking fucked around with Taylor Swift. Remember all that shit?
Yeah.
On TV and like for I don't know whatever. And so we made a joke on our MySpace that when Finger 11 won because we were nominated for Best Rock Award, rock thing. So Juno. And so I think I said on that, this thing's starting to fucking kick in, dude. And so I said on our MySpace, I was like, when Finger 11 wins, we're going to Kanye them. Right? And then so it got a whole bunch of laughs or whatever the fuck it was back then. And then we're flying out to Calgary and Greg Taylor, like he was in Grade and Jersey and all that stuff in Alvia. He's an instigator. Like fucking flat out. He's just an instigator. And he's like, every time I look back at him, he'd go, Kanye. And then he bought these Kanye glasses. Because he had the line shade.
Yeah.
So he bought those. He's like, Kanye. And I'm like, fuck. And so he's like, you have to do it. You have to do it. I'm like, I don't want to do this, man. I don't want to fucking do this shit. And then so I'm like, okay. Oh, look,
you allergic to cats?
No, I love cats. I have 4. That's the legal amount in Hamilton.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You have a legal limit?
Yeah, trust me. I have room in my heart for more. I love cats.
This is Butters.
Hi, Butters. Yay.
He's very friendly.
You are beautiful. Look at your little eyes. So where were we? So anyway, so then I went, I've known those guys. I played my very first rock show with the Rainbow Butt Monkeys when I was in grade 9 at our high school. Like, you know, I love these guys.
Yeah.
Adore them. And so I'm like, hey guys, this is the thing. Here's the bit. And they're like, okay, I don't know. All right. But if you like, whatever. And I'm like, please just say no. Please just say no. And then Scott Anderson, the singer and a wonderful guy, and like probably one of the funniest people I've ever met in my life. He goes, well, I've never been able to control your wrist, but it's not like I'm going to be able to start now. And Greg took that as a yes. So then we're back at our table, and it's me. We're with Shad K, the rapper.
I love Shad.
So he's sitting there, and then like he's like, it's going down. And everyone's like, oh, this is going down. And so I ordered 15 Heinekens. It's free booze. I'm like, holy fuck. And I chugged 15 Heinekens. Sure enough, Finger 11 wins when I work. And so I walk up on stage, get there before them, and I'm like, I don't know who these fucking guys are, but this is St. Alvia's award. Fuck all y'all.
Really?
This is what I said. And then I cook it the fuck out of the fucking Junos as fast as I can. I see Shad being like, yeah, you know what I mean? And then I go outside and I'm panicking. Like, I'm like, I just threw my whole career down the fucking drain. Holy fuck. Then I see Eon from Bedouin. He comes out. He's like, fuck yeah. And I'm like, oh no. So then we go party and fucking, and just get partied, right? The next day we're walking up the red carpet and, it's wild. Like I got a back rub from Jack Layton for like the NDP party.
Yeah.
Cause it's all press and shit like that. And we're just like, I'm probably still going. Like let's be honest. I probably haven't slept.
You're right.
I could tell you. I don't know if I can get this one out. I won't use his name.
Okay.
But we were partying hard, and everybody like I do not condone. Like we partied hard. Like I mean, this isn't the first time people know this. Right. We were hard partying dudes. And my roommate at the time was so mad that morning that there was just a party everywhere that he went into the bathroom and he's like, there's fucking Coke on the Bible. And he comes out but like that was the only light that was on. And so he came out shaking the Bible as Coke blew through the air as if he was in this cocaine snow globe and it's falling in his beard and shit like that. And he's like so mad. Anyway, so chances are I was still going.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm not going to lie, dude. Like I've settled down. This is in my 20s. I'm in my 40s. You know what I mean? I'm glad I lived through it and I do not recommend it. It's a miracle I did.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, and then so we're on the fucking red carpet. I go up to Jack Layton. I give him a back rub. He's talking to some guy. And then we go talk to some guys, like, press. And then he came up and gave me a thing. I was like, holy fuck, that's cool. And then we get into the thing, or the entrance to the Junos, and it's at the stadium, whatever it's called. And I guess maybe the Saddle Dome. Is that it? Whatever. Fucking who cares. And the bouncer guy, the security's like, you're not allowed in there. So I get pulled aside because of my stunt from the day before. Right. Like, it was all like, watch for this fucking asshole.
Yeah.
So then they sit me in like this timeout that just happens to be shared with all of the fucking like the VIPs.
Yeah. Okay.
So you got like, so I'm getting put. What's the fucking name? What's her name from out east? The folk singer, not Reba, but Anne. Oh, what's her name? She fucking elbowed me. Anyway, I swear she elbowed me. What was her name? Fuck. Anyway, fuck it. But I'm like, there's all these like Ben Mulrooney, all of these like Canadian, like they're all like that guy.
Yeah.
So like this security guy has like this mohawk, and he's sitting there, and he's like, you can't go anywhere. And I'm like, well, I think I'm in trouble. And I guess they had to call Finger 11 to say that it was okay for me to go into the Junos.
Okay.
And so thankfully, because I know a couple of them didn't think it was as funny.
Okay.
I'm sorry. But thankfully my homie Rick, he thought it was hysterical. He didn't give a fuck. You know what I mean? Like, he just, he's the funniest fucking dude. Yeah. So he didn't give a fuck. So luckily they got a hold of him first. He's like, yeah, Ben's allowed in. And anyway, so that was, then that night, then we keep going, and there's this Rockstar Hotel, and this is how full of shit Canadian celebrity is.
Okay.
Huge lineup, and apparently there's this top-level fucking party going on, and there was, and so I'm like, I'm not waiting on this shit, and I had my buddy Johnny Atley with me from Waterdown, just like some Lugan that I've partied with my whole life, you know what I mean? Like, and so we walk up to the front of the line, and I don't know what these guys thought, but I just went with great confidence. I'm like, I need to get into this party now. I need it to be discreet, and I need it to happen fast. And he looked back at Johnny Atley, and Johnny Atley goes, and the guy's like, okay, come on. And then they just walked me right up.
Wow.
Yeah, and then I raged, and that party kind of sucked. And then, there's one. I don't know. That was a fucked up one. Yeah, it was a fucked up one, man. But there's been tons, man. Like stupid tattoos, like fucking one time, I got another. Actually, here's a good one. This is an older one from like this is one that kind of had a new ending lately. Like I can remember in the early days of like the 905, there was a really important punk band called Trunk, who were kind of like a street punk band, and then they like suburban street punk, and then they kind of went a bit more like Fat Wreck or something like that. But they were doing pretty good. They were on a label called Raw Energy Records, which had a bunch of like, it had my old band, had Trigger Happy, anyway, a bunch of bands from that era. And Trunk was playing a secret show at the old El Macombo with Rancid. So it was Trunk, Rancid, this band called Maryland's Vitamins, and the singer of that went on to form a band called Hostage Life after, and they were on the radio for a bit.
Yeah, Hostage Life.
And so we were hanging out on the roof of the El Macombo with Rancid, and this is like right before Life Won't Wait.
Okay.
Right. And so, so this is like pre-internet, right? So like people that have phones. So back then when you saw somebody on tour, you were like checking out each other's licenses. Like, what's that shit look like? You know what I mean? Like you didn't know. Like,
yeah,
it's
totally.
Like, and so you're doing that. Excuse me. And then Lars, I remember he had Chuck D's phone number. He's like, look, I got Chuck D's. Because they could, at that time they were so young, Rancid, they could hardly believe that they were fucking famous yet. You know what I mean? Like it was happened so fast. Because like those records were like within like a few years of each other.
Yeah.
Like, those ones that were selling millions. And so they were fucking all stressed out. So I sang a couple songs with Chuck, but I was mostly like just selling their merch and just hanging out. But like I wasn't the main guy, but
right.
I was hanging out. And so they were stressed out because the next day they were getting flown out to play Adam Yao MCA from the Beastie Boys wedding.
Really?
Yeah, and I'm a huge Beastie Boys fan.
Yeah.
And Rancid, right? And then so I was like, that's crazy. That was crazy. And they had all these songs and whatever. And so we like Alvia had opened up for them. Like there's a couple times where we crossed paths again, but like, he would never remember who the fuck we were or whatever. I wouldn't even bother. And so, I guess the summer of 2019, we were shooting like what ended up being like the last episodes of our podcast, Into the Weeds, before the pandemic.
Right.
But Rancid came through Toronto with Pennywise and a few other bands. and Ephraim was in town, and Ephraim's from that scene, like he's from California, like my co-host. He plays in Death by Stereo and Voodoo Glow Skulls.
Oh fuck yeah!
Yeah, so that's after, like that's my co-host of the show.
That's super cool.
Yeah, he's the best. Like we've been best friends since the Video Dead days. Like me and him got fucking stories.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we've been partying for, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And anyway, so F got us all backstage, and we were walking, and we were leaving, and end of the night, and Tim's sitting there on the steps, you know, after the show, post show, and he's got all this fucking huge, like kind of gangster looking security dudes around him and shit. And I'm walking by, we locked eyes, and I'm just like, fuck it. I'm like, can I ask you a question? And then all the security guys were like, oh, you just did, motherfucker. You just did. I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna get fucking dummied, right? And then Tim's like, what? You thought I should have played this different? I don't know. I guess the guy's getting hassled. I don't know what the fuck's going on. And I'm like, no. He's like, okay, what's your question, bro? And I'm like, tell him the story. And I'm like, and you guys were gonna go play Adam Yout, MCA's, you know, wedding, and like Rancid and Beastie Boys are two of my all-time favorite things. And I'm like, I've been wondering since 1996 or 7, like, how did that fucking show go, dude?
Yeah.
Right? And then he was like, oh, fuck. And then he sat down, and it was like story time. Like all the gangsters just sat and listened to this crazy, beautiful story of him like playing like the wedding and stuff like that. And it was, you know, it went great. And like, you know, and then he's like, then he goes, and then Rancid played Beastie Boys at basketball, and I ain't gonna say who won. So that was pretty cool because it kind of it had you know, like I had like this one story about it, and then you know 20, 30 years later, there's a new ending to that story.
Yeah, that's super cool.
Yeah, that was fun. I know that wasn't really a band story, but
no, it still counts.
All right,
still counts. When you're on the road, what's your go-to gas station snack?
Halls. Yeah. Because like Fisherman's Friend, because I'm always like this battle of water, smoking, and my throat.
Right, and you performing vocals,
and then soup,
right?
and then I'm always eating soup. Yeah, like I fuck like being on the road. It's like fuck. It's like it's a different thing when you're singing. You know what I mean? Like it's like it's your you know, you're like your head's got to be there. You know what I mean? Like so you got to like, I don't know. It's tough. You got to be able to sleep. You know, you got all that kind of shit.
Absolutely.
You know? So it's a constant battle. Advils, fucking like, you know, like it's like when you're doing like Alvia tours weren't that rough,
right?
When you're doing like, you know, like like Video Dead stuff, and we were screaming like, you know, Sick of It All style, like rah, 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 like that kind of shit. Yeah, that was not easy on the voice. Yeah. The rules kind of get, well, we don't really tour, so it's like that's not really a thing. Like we might in the future, but there's nothing planned. But it's a bit, well, like I figured out how to do it a bit better now.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's a lot more articulation, like curl those R's. You know what I mean?
Yeah, make the shows count more.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, it's just vocally with how you get the message across, like screaming and stuff like that.
Yeah,
like curl your R's, like you get that. Rah, rah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It sounds more vicious, and you don't fucking have to like fuck your throat up so much, like that kind of shit.
Absolutely.
You know? So it's a little bit better, but it's still tough. And then also like your early 40s, you got to kind of fucking deal with it a bit different.
Dial it back, yeah.
Yeah.
Where's the farthest you've ever played or like gone, left from home?
I guess the farthest would be Japan.
Oh, you've played Japan.
Yeah.
How was that?
It was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was so cool. It like it feels, and I hope this doesn't sound rude or anything like that, but it's like it's like being in an alternate universe, or as close to something that you would feel like, you know what I mean? Because it's exactly like here, but just like a little different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like certain things, like just
all sorts of different stuff.
Yeah. But it's at the same time it feels like the same. I don't know. But it's neat. It was we went there on like some Canadian talent exchange thing when I was in Albion. We shot a music video there, and we did one of our songs did pretty well in Japan.
Nice. That's super cool.
Yeah.
Love that. Do you have any pre-show rituals?
We would probably usually just do shot. Like now, I'll do some push-ups or something like that.
Yeah.
But those days would just be shots and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good one. Here's another good one with that band. We were playing Canada Day with Planet Smashers and a guy called Manu Chao. Are you familiar with Manu Chao?
No.
He's the biggest independent selling world artist on planet Earth, but he's not English speaking, so none of us fucking English people know who the fuck he is.
That's hilarious.
He drew 1 million people in like 24 hours notice or something like that in Mexico City. Something like that. Like something wild, you know? But we didn't know who he was, and this is a lesson in know your audience. So it's Canada Day, and we were playing a lot in Montreal back then because of Stomp Records and all that kind of shit. So and we were handpicked by Manu Chao because like that band had some like, you know, reggae, ska, salsa, punk, all that shit. It's just a Clash kind of vibe. And so we're like, holy fuck, and there's like 26 to 40,000 people up front or something like that. Like, it's crazy. We're like,
wow.
Holy fuck, here we go, boys. You know, we all do the fucking shot before the show.
Yeah.
And so this is why it's a lesson in know your audience, is then when we got out to the mic, the first thing Robbie Paslick said, Boobs said, like he would do all the speaking, well, like out there, because he spoke the best French, was Happy Canada Day. And this is a fucking 26,000 fucking separatists, dude. and then like a wave of boos. Like, have you ever disappointing 26,000 human beings at one time is a different experience that I don't think a lot of people get to enjoy or not enjoy or just experience.
Yeah.
It is wild. Like right now, the energy of me making you laugh feels good. That is one person being happy. Imagine 26,000 more, the exact opposite. It's one of my favorite. Like, we got to do some fun stuff with that band, but like that is like one of my favorite fucking memories of rock and roll. Like, I'm so grateful for that experience. I don't know. Maybe I'm a glutton for punishment, but I just.
Did you finish that set?
Yo, we fought through it, dude. And we might have got like 8 people back or some shit. Like, I don't know. Taylor seems to remember it differently, but I felt like I was struggling, man.
Yeah,
I was feeling the hate for sure. Maybe it was in my head, but.
If Rules was a massive arena band, let's say they're at the level of Metallica.
Yeah.
What's the Rockstar dream rider? What's waiting in the green room for you? You got an unlimited budget.
We'd be dead. Like anything, I would like realistic. Like, did it have to? Is it something that has to be brought there, or it would have to be sourced out for me?
Doesn't matter. It's if you want it, it's there.
A private pool at every show.
Oh, cool. Yeah,
that's what I would want.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, a full like you know what I mean? And then like I would like the fixings too, if it's like, you know what I mean? Like, if I wanted to have a party, but I like to swim. So that's the only time all the noise, like if I'm underwater, that's the only time it shuts all off. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's what I would do. That would be sick.
That's super cool. That's probably one of the
cannonballs, you know, because you can get wasted in that shit if you want. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if we need to find, like, trust me, we don't have a hard time finding bags.
Yeah. That's great.
You know what I mean? We can get that, but a pool, you know what I mean? Then you can do whatever you want. You can have a healthy thing with the kids. You can have a fucking pool party. You can get your wives over with the, the babes over with the fucking, you can do that. You can, it's just, that's what I would do.
I like it.
You know, and then you also have your sanctuary, like, it's a place where it's like very specifically like just going to be for the people that you want there too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no randos.
Yeah.
So I've only got one more question for you. Give me your top 5 biggest influences, maybe artists of all time. If you can't give me 5, you give me 3.
Beastie Boys, AC/DC, Sabbath. The punk, maybe flat. I don't know. I have to think on the punk one. Who do I got? Beastie Boys, AC/DC, Sab, Nirvana, and Faith No More.
Nice. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Super cool list.
Tough question though.
Yeah, it is a big question.
Like, I was trying to go for the ones that have been there. Like, Fugazi should be on that list too, probably somewhere. Like, I'm trying to, and Black Flag should probably be on there too. Like, I was trying to pick like the ones that have been there the longest.
Yeah,
it's hard, right? But
yeah,
like that Fugazi should maybe be on there. Over, I don't know. That's tough, dude.
It's a tough one.
Yeah. That fucking first Fugazi tape though, that was fucking life changing.
It's a good record.
Yeah.
So if you've got any more Bandecdotes to add, feel free to. But if you want to wrap up, we could wrap up.
Yeah, dude. No, this has been so much fun. And I really appreciate you having. I got some stuff here for you.
Yeah.
We brought gifts. I was gonna eat, but we ended up doing something way better. But here's some gifts from our store.
Yeah,
we have a store.
You plug your store.
Like, I don't even know if I'm allowed to, so I won't say the name. But look at the product placement. These are actually pretty nice. I'm gonna take one and leave one for you.
Sure, thank you.
These are sugar free. They're actually pretty nice.
Nice.
These are all regulated market shit, and it's not bad. These are great. This is a regulated distillate, but it's CBD. I put it in my coffee.
Oh, cool.
So I already opened it up because I had a coffee on the way here,
that's fair.
and I wanted to be able to focus.
Yeah.
And I find CBD does that. Here's just some gummies. These
Yeah.
aren't anything compared, like, stick with yours.
Yeah.
And then there's a bunch of. We're gonna smoke that, actually.
Hell yeah.
You and me are gonna smoke that.
Fuck
after.
yeah.
And then got you some swag. Here's some swag from the store.
Oh, perfect.
A bunch of different shit.
Yes.
You don't have to wear it. You can give it to your listeners. There's a toque.
Yeah.
From Mood Ring. There's some the high in demand Ghost Drops trading cards.
Really? Super cool.
Ghost Drops shirt.
Oh, hell yeah.
Then these denim bucket hats.
No way.
Yeah, man.
Oh, you're too kind.
And then you got some more random shit.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for fucking having us on or having me on the show. Really
Yeah. So, if you want to plug the social medias of anything, you want to plug anything, the podcast.
Yeah, please. If you have time, check out at Rules Are a Band. Rules Are a Band. That's everything. And the podcast is at Get Into the Weeds. That's everything as well.
Perfect. Right on.
Yeah. Thanks so much, dude.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. We'll end it there.
Cool.